Ladies and gentlemen, there's a major revolution in education, and the revolution began with the statement in the Constitution, Section 31, which states that every Fijian have the right to access to education based on or given in an environment which is conducive for education. Section 31 reads, guarantees every Fijian, the Constitution guarantees every Fijian the right to education, including access to proper school infrastructure, learning facilities necessary to foster quality education at all levels. There are a couple of key elements in there. Right to education. This government, the Bani Marama government, wants to ensure that there's no obstacle for students to access education, be it ECE, be it primary, be it secondary, be it tertiary education. But that education should also be provided in a place where the infrastructure is conducive. Hence, we need to ensure that the school infrastructure is appropriate, is ready to deliver education up to that level, whether it's ECE, whether it's primary, or it's secondary education. And the learning environment should be conducive for these children to acquire new knowledge, acquire quality knowledge. And the learning environment can be delivered through quality infrastructure, through quality teachers, through appropriately pegged curriculum that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, every child is invaluable to his or her parents. Every parent has a dream, whether you are originating from squatter settlement, whether you are originating from a family which is endowed with excessive and extensive amount of wealth, whether you come from a chiefly system, whether you come from a farming background or rice farming background, to be more relevant to those who originate from Mandebo to Kith area. Every parent has a dream. Every child has a dream. And this government wants to ensure that we do not discriminate just because you originate from Mundu Point or a squatter settlement, and therefore your dreams means less to the dreams of the elite and the rich and the privileged. Every child's dream is equal, immaterial of what religious belief they hold, whether they are a Hindu or a Muslim or they're Christian or the Baha'i faith, etc. Every child's dream is same under this constitution, whether you are whatever ethnicity you belong to. Because this government believes that for a peaceful, stable and progressive Fiji, we need to educate every Fijian. And that is the key vision that we are after. There's a vision, and we have to work towards that vision through key mission statements. And today we'll be discussing strategies and policies to deliver on to our government's vision of developing and delivering an educated, knowledge-based society. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our task to ensure that we deliver onto the dreams of the individuals, households, and the people of Fiji. At times I remind our own staff that we are very privileged, we are very honored to be given this opportunity to determine future Fiji, quality of future Fiji, and be able to fulfill the dreams of ordinary Fijians or Fijians in this country. We're very privileged. Every policy we make will make a difference to the lives of people. Very privileged. And we can't fault in that. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of the forum is collaboration towards strengthening access to quality education. Without working closely with you all, we will not be able to realize those dreams. You are a very important stakeholder. This forum is entirely devoted and dedicated towards listening to your views, following presentations from the key sections in our ministry. As I alluded to earlier on, the dream education that we have is to attain excellence in quality in all facets of the Fijian education system. Now let's break down this notion of excellence in quality. Quality, when we talk about quality, we deal with curriculum pegged to a level which is internationally accepted. We don't want to have a curriculum, students coming out of a school system where international institutions say that we do not recognize because it is not pegged to the level that is acceptable to us. Accessibility to all forms of education, we need to ensure that our children are able to have accessibility, whether it's informal education or technical education. And this is something that I would want to bring to your attention, that we have also established technical colleges to ensure that we meet the aspirations of students, whether their aptitude is in higher education or in technical education, and leading that particular sector in Ministry of Education is the Director, Acting Director Technical Colleges, Mr. David Wedlock. David, so, as I alluded to earlier on, that the education system that we have should demonstrate equality and fairness in all aspects. We want to ensure that no child is left behind, whether the child originates from a very interior place. We've been very particular about ensuring that children are able to get to school, hence meeting their transportation needs. Or whether they are in a special school, that should not limit the child from getting education. And of course, through collaborative partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, the desired outcome, as I alluded to earlier on, is to build a knowledge-based society. A knowledge-based society is one where individuals, instead of being a factor of production is a land, labor, capital, technology. Apart from being a factor of production, a knowledge-based society is where people will have knowledge about those factors of production. That's what knowledge-based society is. A knowledge-based society is where people will have knowledge about all aspects of life, all aspects of production system. And to have that is through education. Now, why do we need a knowledge-based society? Because once people have quality knowledge about all aspects of life, all aspects of the production system, all aspects of the social system, the social capital and the cultural capital, then individuals will not look at issues of ethnicity, religion, or where they originate from, but make decisions based on logic, reasoning, an ability to analyze and separate out facts versus myths. Unless and until we are able to deliver onto a society where people are educated, not gullible, and to be used by people for their own personal benefit, we will not be able to have a stable, prosperous, and peaceful and growing Fiji. So that is what a knowledge-based society is. A knowledge-based society where individuals are able to rise above variables of ethnicity, religion, caste, class system, and make decisions which is for the benefit of the overall growth and development of the country, as well as development of the micro sectors and micro enterprises and micro households. Ladies and gentlemen, enormous amount of work has been done by previous leaders of Ministry of Education, but the benchmark doesn't remain stagnant because the entire world is moving. Society is changing. The kinds of developments we have now never existed 2 decades ago, or 3 decades ago, or 4 decades ago. Therefore, we have to continue to lift the benchmark. Otherwise, we and our children will exist in 1970s or 80s. We will live in that era. If you use the curriculum of 1970s and 80s, our children will be irrelevant. this is a different time, different era. Technology have moved fast. New knowledge have come into place. We need to continuously revise our textbooks. We can't be using the textbooks of 70s and 60s. And therefore, we have to continuously relook at the way we do things, relook at what we do, relook at the content. And it is in this regard that when leaders change, they come with fresh minds, fresh ideas, and therefore we decided that we need to further push the benchmark. My predecessor has done an excellent job, but we're looking at the new developments in contemporary Fiji, looking at the developments in contemporary world, we need to, if not be a step ahead, but with the development. We decided to undertake key reforms. Pillar 1, content review and development. We look at review of the curriculum. We looked at the improvement of delivery, how our teachers would deliver. Yesterday I was sitting amongst a group of people. There was discussion about corporal punishment. And someone said that some years back, we were subjected to corporal punishment. And that resulted in us studying hard. Why is the ministry stop corporal punishment now? I said to him, I haven't seen any research up till now which demonstrates a clear causality between corporal punishment and education or educational outcomes, delivery of educational outcomes. There may be a correlation. Just like over time in Fiji, the number of golf games played have increased. 30 years ago, hardly there was any golf game played. Now, every day, there's so many golf games being played. 30 years ago, the output of Fiji was very low. Now the output is very high. Does that mean that the more golf game you play, the more output will happen in the country? That's correlation. Correlation does not mean causality. So just because there was corporal punishment then, doesn't mean that corporal punishment was the cause of students studying harder. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is any diminishing interest in education by children, then it should be attributed to the enormous pressure that children are having now that never existed in those era. There was no IT. Hardly any IT. Access to IT by children. No Facebook, no text messages, no Viber, no social media. Hardly access to any movies or TV. Ladies and gentlemen, now our children are subjected to enormous pressure challenges which distracts them from education. And therefore, sticking with the old methodology of teaching will be totally irrelevant and would cause irreparable damage to our children to the extent that we might lose them. And therefore, we need to relook at our methodology of teaching, methodology of delivery, methodology of how we look after and mentor our children. Times have changed. We have increased momentum in which we assist schools that have been ignored in the past, schools that have been neglected, because we want the school infrastructure, whether it's in Bodalebu or whether it's in Undu Point, etc., should be same as what we have here at Sangam Primary or Bulileka Primary. Because we want parents to feel comfortable in sending the children to schools in the interior. I know cases where parents who are able to send the children or have someone in the urban area are taking the children away from a school nearby in the villages and sending the child to a school in the urban area just because the facility was not good. We are trying to remove the disparity between the quality of infrastructure among schools no matter where they are located. And we are spending enormous amount of money towards improvement of infrastructure in our school system. Ladies and gentlemen, the establishment of technical college is a vision by Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Bani Marama, to ensure that children whose aptitude are in the technical area are not forced towards doing chemistry or biology or accounting and they drop. We want to ensure that we are able to provide education that interests the child so that the child can excel in that particular area. Hence the establishment of technical colleges campuses throughout Fiji. And the people of North have not been neglected. One of the 3 pioneer campuses of the technical college was established at Nanduna, and I want to thank the Banwalevu Arya Samaj community for providing that infrastructure to ministry so that we could provide technical education to the children of Fiji. And that's the beauty about education system in Fiji. It's immaterial of who owns the infrastructure, whether it's the Arya Samaj group or Sanatan or Muslim League or Methodist Church or Catholic. The doors are open to any child, immaterial of the religious belief or ethnicity. And today, we have hundreds of children studying at the technical college at the Nanduna Arya campus. And a large lot graduated about 2 months ago. And we have got 2 more campuses which have started in Banwalevu. One in Bua, Nawada campus, and one in Wanikoro, the Navalevu campus. And both of them will be opened by our Honorable Prime Minister in about 3 to 4 weeks' time, once he returns from Rio in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, following 1 year of reform in education system, we have seen substantial improvement in exam results. We had removed scaling of marks so that each student gets to know exactly how the child performed. I recall in 2014, my daughter did year 12 exams. In 2014, result was scaled. And the result came out in 2015. I wanted to know how she passed by 290 marks or something in the 4 subjects. But I wanted to know how she did in actual marks. All the marks was around in 70s and 80s or so. So I found out that either maths or physics, one of those 2, she was a science student, the mark was very low, close to 50. So if I didn't have that original data, original score, I wouldn't have known which subject I should concentrate in year 13. So this is how marks were distorted through the scaling system. We wanted the students to know actual performance in the various subjects. We wanted the parents to know in which area the student had or his child should focus. We wanted the teachers to know where they should spend more time for the child, or on which child in the classroom. We wanted the school head to know which class is not doing well, which teacher is not doing well, or not performing well, and where more time and resources to be devoted. So hence, we remove scaling and introduce exams, so that children are focused and able to target an outcome. They exist. Some people's point of view or school of thought that exams is not the right way of educating. But the thing is that methodologies vary, applicability of a particular methodology vary on where and the environment and the location, where the country is located, what kind of environment we have, what kind of system we have. And our strong belief, based on literature review, is that at this point in time, we need to have exams to guide our children and keep them focused. Our investment in infrastructure throughout Fiji, particularly schools in interior and the maritime zone, demonstrates that students are gradually enjoying better facilities and services. With the free education introduced by the Bani Marama government, our government, parents are no longer facing any financial burden. No longer parents have to worry about where the money will come from. I do see Mr. Halokfaki scratching his head. I think I need to still talk to him during the tea time and say why he, when he sends his grandchild to university, doesn't have to worry about selling his house or mortgaging his house, or why his cousin in the village doesn't have to worry about carrying the bags of dalo to feed the children when the child stays with some relatives in town and struggles to stay and study in that room. Some years back, when I was at USP, I did a research on why there was so much of break-ins in the Rewanga area. You must have noted, those who have been to Rewanga those days, there was these high-rise flats in Rewanga, public rental board flats. There was one large room. I did a study of all PRB flats in Fiji, population, entire. For PRB, I did a study. So, all 1,700 something at that particular point in time. So I entered the Rewanga high-rise building. So one large room and a toilet bathroom. That's where they cook. That's where they sleep. That's where the children are supposed to study. So large families will stay there. Children from villages will come and stay. When the parents are back from work in the evening, they sleep there. Where would the children from villages who are staying with them sleep? They have nowhere to sleep. They're outside on the street whole night. When the parents wake up in the morning and go to work, they come back and sleep in the flat. So when they're outside on the street in the night time, sitting near the Rewanga road, yarning, chatting, etc., that's the time they develop this quest to engage in break-ins, etc. So this was the situation. No place to stay. He had to study in the university. He had to look for a job. No one to pay for the education. Those days are gone, Mr. Halofaki. No more. No more. No more parents have to sell their draft bullock. No more mothers have to sell their jewelry to send their child to school. The government will pay for all the expenses. But some people, the bitter truth can't be digested. Because in that era, they couldn't do. Ladies and gentlemen, because of this, we've substantially reduced dropouts of children from the school system. Because we believe the children's rightful place is in the school. In the formative years, from ages 5 to 18, the school should be in our primary school or high school system. And this government wants every child to have access to tertiary education. We want our teachers to do what they're supposed to do. And we have seen remarkable change in the way they are now delivering education in our primary and secondary, and as well as tertiary education system. We have seen that parents who wanted to send their children to early childhood education were not able to afford to pay fees to these early childhood education institutions. Hence, this year you would have noted, government have ensured that no parent's child will be turned back from an early childhood institution just because the child is not able to pay tuition fee. Ladies and gentlemen, this year we noted that parental engagement is key and vital for children's growth and development. We want parents to take ownership of the child's development. We want parents to know what the child is doing. We want parents to provide the love and care and affection that the child needs. We don't want the child to wander away and look for and search for love outside home. And that is one of the reasons why in a lot of other countries, in developed countries, because parental love and care and affection is not there, the child continuously searches for love outside the home. And there are people who would want to prey on these vulnerable, innocent minds. Hence, we have launched this Pillar 4 of parental engagement, where we want parents to engage with our children. We want parents to take ownership of our children's growth and development and education. We want parents to provide the true love and care that they should be providing. Without them, we will not be able to educate our children the way we want. And you look at the statistics on social problems our children are facing, then you realize how much they need to be protected, supported. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very particular about ensuring that our children have good quality knowledge about our heritage and arts. Our Director of Heritage and Arts, along with her colleagues in the Heritage section, are doing everything possible to ensure that we provide opportunity for children to get that knowledge that defines them, that they are Fijian. To this effect, we have also launched this year the virtual museum, a project designed to get children who are not able to come to museum to view the artifacts through online, as long as they have internet connection. We have organized workshops to educate our children and also educate members of the community to keep our children away from drugs and other social issues, as well as protect them, guide them so that our children do not get swayed and get lured by those corrupt elements in the society who would want to exploit them. We organized the International Yoga Day to ensure that our children are able to undertake physical exercise. Yoga has two components, meditation and physical exercise. The meditation component is designed to stabilize their mind, designed to ensure that they are able to focus deeply in the subject matter. Due to a lot of distractions, our children is not able to concentrate on the subject matter. And therefore, meditation has been proven scientifically to stabilize their mind. And the second component is physical exercise. We want to take a step ahead in terms of contributing towards reducing NCDs in future. We don't want to churn out from our high school system students who are not physically fit. And therefore, we redefining our physical education. It's not sports education, it's physical education. Physical education is much more than just sports education. We want our children to undertake physical exercise before they get or break into various sporting activities. Now, some people have argued that yoga has to do with a particular religion. We have no problem with that. If people do believe strongly in that, then that component of meditation can be removed. So it's not compulsory. But what is compulsory is physical exercise. We want every child to undertake physical exercise for at least half an hour before they break into different sports, whether it's skipping, whether it's netball, basketball, volleyball, rugby, soccer, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now 12 campuses of technical college, and we want children who have an aptitude and interest in this particular area to go and get education from this technical college, again funded by government. We're also providing short courses totally free out of this technical college, various types of subject areas in short courses such as painting, tile layering, bricklaying, etc. And children are given free training in this area. And we also are now actively supporting EC education. This week is a week for advocacy of early childhood education. And we strongly believe that we need to have a good foundation, build good foundation for children to succeed in primary and high school education. This week is dedicated towards advocacy for early childhood education, and we are encouraging all parents to send their child to ECE institutions close to their home. And as you know, for the education to succeed, we need to ensure that our teachers are equally remunerated, and therefore, Honorable Minister for Economy announced in the last budget that for the first time ever, we are paying full salary of the teachers, as well as raising the salary of the ECE teachers. So teachers with certificate or diploma and degree will be paid substantially higher than what they were paid before, effective from this month. That is the level of support they're providing to ECE education. The only thing management needs to pay is the FNPF contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, substantial amount of budget has been allocated to the Ministry of Education. If you look at the Ministry of Education itself, the Minister for Economy, Honorable Qayyum, allocated 448.5 million. Some people argue that that's not the highest budget for education. Infrastructure is much higher. FR Roads Authority has higher budget. Let me give you figures for education, and then you note that education has got the highest budgetary allocation, which is about 730 million. 448 million for Ministry of Education. Then you've got for higher education institutions 93 million. Tertiary education loan scheme 42 million. National Topper Scheme 10.6 million. Other scholarships about 4.5 million. First time ever, our Minister for Economy, Honorable Qayyum, allocated specific amount of money for children with special needs. TELS Port Operation 1 million and Cyclone Rehabilitation for 132 million. So the largest budget for education, and if you look at the UNESCO benchmark, UNESCO requires that we allocate at least 14% of the overall budget towards education. If you look at only Ministry of Education, it's 16%, but if you add all this up, it's about over 20% towards education. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the major initiatives. In addition to this, we have got transport assistance to ensure that children are able to come to school. Some years back, parents in the rural areas were struggling to pay or find bus fares every morning to send their child. They may have 2 or 3 or 4 child traveling to school in the urban area, but to find cash money every morning, even $1 or $2, was not easy, because normally in the subsistence in the rural area, it is not a cash economy and cash doesn't float around. People in the area survive basic on exchange systems. But not only a bus fare subsidy is provided to all those children who need assistance, but also we are providing transportation to areas where bus is not operating. We are providing boat and engine to places where children have to travel from one island to another island or cross the river. This is the level of assistance we are providing to ensure that no obstacle is there for children to get to school. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the overall strategies and specific measures that we have adopted to ensure that we take education to the people, we take relevant education to the people, we take quality education to the people, the infrastructure is there to support them, and our teachers are ready to provide support to the education vision of the ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, we noted that there was quite a bit of teacher absenteeism that used to exist in our education system. On an average, 10% of the students were absent in a day, last year's statistics. And on an average, 16% of the teachers were absent in a day. So with the provision of free milk, the provision of bus fare scheme, with the advocacy and education awareness that we have reduced substantially student absenteeism from 10% to now. Early this year it was 6%. We need to look at the latest stats. Teacher absenteeism was 12%. We have started to collect data on teacher absenteeism, and teachers know about it. We have substantially reduced it to 6% as of now. Just over 1 month of collection of data daily, what time the teacher comes and how many teachers are absent, we have substantially reduced teacher absenteeism in a day from 12% to 6%. So these are some of the measures we have adopted explicitly to ensure that children do get quality education, children are able to get to the educational institutions. With these words, I want to thank all of you who are here, and I look forward to the open forum in the afternoon where I will be answering any questions that you have. And I do hope that you will enjoy the presentations that will be made by our directors, and you get an opportunity to ask some questions as well. And I'll be available after lunch to answer any questions that you may have without any restriction, any bounds. Thank you. Naka and Dhanwad.
to warmly welcome you all to the 2016 Northern Education Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, amongst us today is a man with a dream.
Members of this forum, we are now proceeding to the next session.
On behalf of the Permanent Secretary, Tropical Cyclone Winston, we're still going through our rehabilitation period and please geographical disadvantages. The government believes that when the people are compared to 2016, this is largely due to the increase in capital budget. That the Honorable Minister shared this morning that Section 13 of our 2013 Constitution favorable in ensuring that